Wouldn't it be great to manage your portfolio on one platform? Well, now you can trade all in one place on Robinhood. That means you can trade individual stocks and ETFs and also buy and sell crypto using seriously powerful and intuitive tools at one of the lowest costs on average without needing to manage multiple apps. Robinhood makes withdrawing and depositing crypto seamless. Send crypto to your Robinhood account or send crypto from your Robinhood account to other wallets without deposit or withdrawal fees from Robinhood. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Network fees may apply to crypto transfers. Crypto transfers may not be available to all customers. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Checking off the boxes on your to-do list is a great feeling. And when it comes to checking off coverage, a State Farm agent can help you choose an option that's right for you. Whether you prefer talking in person, on the phone, or using the award-winning app, it's nice knowing you have help finding coverage that best fits your needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to the podcast. I'm really delighted about today's guest, Kristen Corral, and she is an entrepreneur, and she's a small business marketing expert and also a TEDx speaker. And I'm really happy to have her on to talk about community strategy and TEDx speaking as well. And I'm really happy to have her on. Kristen, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, briefly introduce yourself and we'll dive into the questions.
Yeah, so my name is Kristen Corral. I am a serial entrepreneur, if you will. I've been a small business owner for the last almost 15 years. Before that, I was a Las Vegas showgirl. So it was an interesting transition to go from showgirl to entrepreneur. But yeah, I started from the ground up, grassroots. I started a pet care business first in Las Vegas. I scaled that and sold that. And now I own 7 restaurants with my husband and 2 other business partners. And we're scaling that. Our largest concept is Tacotarian, which is a plant-based Mexican eatery.
Interesting. So these days, what do people come to you for? Is it for coaching or is it for speaking engagements? Talk about your ideal client avatar.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I do a lot of coaching through women's networks, through NABO, the National Association of Women Business Owners. I'm just out in the community helping other, specifically women, but all small business owners scale up with small budgets. That's my thing. I think there's a misconception that you have to spend a ton of money on marketing, and that's really not true, especially as a micro and small business. And most businesses are in that micro category. They operate with less than 50 employees. So they don't have a big marketing budget. So I'm just helping people get to where they need to be without a lot of money. I also speak a lot. I do panels a lot. And obviously I did TEDx recently, which was really exciting. Oh, I lost your sound.
People getting wrong about small business marketing these days, especially given we have AI now and social media. What are people getting wrong?
I think the biggest thing that people get wrong is they rely too much on social media. So I think people think of social media as like the end all be all, but unless you're really creating funnels and driving people from social media off social media, then there's really not a lot of ROI. Typically, the people that are following and engaging with you on social media are not actually buying your product or walking into your brick and mortar business. And I think that's the biggest misconception people have about social media. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it's exciting. Everybody likes to go viral. Everybody likes and clicks and comments and things. I'm guilty of it too. But are those people from social media driving sales to your business? So if they're not, then you need to get them off social media and into your email list. So that's the biggest thing that people are not doing is they're not building an email list.
Yeah. And so the other question I have for you is where does AI play into all of this, especially with the ability to create viral content, or how should influencers be viewing AI in terms of their marketing?
Listen, I think AI is a really helpful tool. I think it's great for building outlines, for helping you with strategy. I don't know that the copywriting and the personality and the actual narrative is there yet. So I'm hesitant to tell people. I do a lot of coaching with how to use AI to build your marketing plan and things like that. And I do love AI for those things, but I don't know that AI is going to give you like a viral piece of content and say, here, post this and it will go viral. I have yet to see that. I see a lot of influencers pushing that on social media, and I don't know that it's there yet.
Follow-up question I have for you is, given the amount of, there's so much noise or so much, there's so much signal and noise out there. Everybody's an influencer, everybody's on social media, everybody's a coach. How do you stand out from this crowd in terms of community?
Yeah, listen. So community is one of the biggest things in our business that has allowed us to scale. And a lot of people are, oh, we're community, we're this, we donate, we this. And this is actually the subject of my entire TEDx talk. So most small businesses write a check, they make a donation, and that's it. It's done. They don't leverage that donation to drive more sales. And that was the entire kind of synopsis of my TEDx and how you can leverage your community to actually increase your sales. So if you partner with, let's say, a local charity, that local charity might have 50,000 followers or 100,000 people on their email list. Let's say it's a large animal shelter and you have a smaller following or maybe the equal following. It doesn't even matter. Now, if you go to them and say, hey, let's create a set of deliverables that both of us are going to deliver on. We're each going to reach out to our email list. We're each going to reach out to PR. We're each going to reach out to local media. And we're going to leverage two audiences. Everybody's going to drive sales. Let's say in the instance of a restaurant, everyone's going to drive their audiences to your restaurant to order this one special. And then you're going to donate a portion of that special. So it's in everybody's best interest to drive people to your restaurant to order that special. And I think that's where most people are missing the mark. They're not setting deliverables because we used to not do that either. We used to partner with charities loosely and hope for the best. And when we really aligned on deliverables and what we were asking of the charities and making sure both of us were delivering, we saw exponential growth on our partnerships with charity. So I think community is a huge aspect to it. Listen, I love coaching other businesses. I find it to be really fun if someone comes to me and says, hey, I have a beauty business. What should I do? I'm like, you do this, you do this, you do this. I get really excited. So it's fun for me. It's not my main revenue stream. Obviously, I'm an entrepreneur first, and I do all this coaching and speaking on the side as a passion project. So I guess that's what sets me apart. I'm really passionate about it.
So you're about to make a trade based on a friend's text. But which you do you listen to? Is it, we could buy a house in Tulum? Get optioning those options. We could lose everything. Or let's do a little research. Get your head in the trade and make the investment decision that's right for you. Learn more at finra.org/trade-smart.
Una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. 8 configuraciones diferentes, intensidad ajustable, además es calefaccionado. Y se siente tan bien. Sí, una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. Y 2, bueno, aún más. Pero cuando esas sillas de masajes vienen con un auto, se vuelven bastante prácticas. El nuevo Volkswagen Tiguan 2025 con funciones premium como los asientos delanteros con masaje disponibles. Solo parece extravagante.
How should people be viewing communities? Because a lot of what you're describing is in-person communities, but how should people be viewing? Because now we have Instagram, Twitter communities, Reddit. How should people be viewing digital communities and leveraging that in their marketing?
Yeah, I think digital communities are also really important. Like for instance, Facebook groups. There's tons of Facebook groups or Reddit chats and all these things. I think just showing up as your authentic self, even as a business, a lot of times is where people miss the mark. I think when you hide behind your business, people don't see you as a real person. So if you're going into those groups to promote your business or to get more involved in the community, don't go in promoting yourself or your business. Go in as a human being, participate in the conversation, actually be part of that community because you care about the community and you're interested in the community. Don't go in selfishly. And this is a huge, again, mistake that people make in marketing. They're really selfish with their marketing. It's very one-sided. And so you have to go in and offer yourself up, be a human being, because people want to buy from people and brands that they know. And so if they see you as part of their community, whether it's digital or in person, then they're going to rally behind you. They're going to show up for you and they're going to buy your product or service, whatever you're selling.
Interesting. So the other question I have for you is, obviously Vegas is the kind of the entertainment, one of the entertainment capitals of the world. And what has living and working in Vegas taught you in terms of just marketing and differentiating yourself? Because a lot of these businesses, these are they've enjoyed tremendous success, and I've seen people reinvent themselves. So how can entrepreneurs learn from you and your story and background?
Yeah. So, like I mentioned earlier, I grew up in the world of entertainment. I was a professional dancer my whole life, my childhood. I grew up on ballet, jazz, tap. So, I naturally moved into that world as an adult and I traveled the world. I worked on cruise ships and I landed in Las Vegas because there was a ton of work as a performer. Now that work is not what it used to be. We have less and less shows. We're turning into a sports town. So, this city is really evolving. But I think what that background taught me was how to be competitive. That's a highly competitive industry, performance. And it taught me how to thrive and change and grow like very quickly, how to evolve. And that's something that we have to do as business owners. Think about during the pandemic, we all had to pivot. Okay, if you had a brick and mortar, you might not have been open. So how did you pivot to still make money? And Las Vegas is constantly pivoting. So you have to be very quick. And you do also have to learn how to stand out. What makes you different? And I think one of the ways, again, I'm going to harp on this, is like being omni-channel. You can't just be on social media and expect people to show up for you. You have to be everywhere. And if you Google Tacotarian, you will see that we are literally everywhere. Like we won an SBA award, a national SBA award this year. We're top 100 movers and shakers. Like we're putting ourselves out there every single day in this community and nationally. And you can't just open a business and expect people to show up. You have to really put the work in to make yourself stand out.
Yeah. And as an avid traveler, I know the city I see it just really like restaurant entrepreneurs, real estate entrepreneurs, performance entrepreneurs just evolve into this high end. It's been really amazing to see. Talk about one thing you talked about earlier was this scrappy but strategic approach, and what you can teach any entrepreneur about growth, being scrappy and strategic.
Yeah. So what I mean by that is not having a large budget. So most small businesses have no budget. So what do you do? Where do you start? I have a free guide on my Instagram that you can download that has 7 things that you can do before you ever spend $1 on market. But I'll give you some of those here. So one that people never do is blog. And I know when you hear the word blog and you think, okay, are we in 2007? But blogging is extremely relevant. So you have to take a different approach. Don't just post about nonsense. Like nobody wants to read your nonsense. What people are doing though is they're searching for things on the internet. So if you figure out what people are asking about in your industry, and then you answer all of those questions in blog form, you will rank higher on Google for people that are searching for those things. And people miss this all the time. And this is how I scaled my pet sitting company to 6 figures extremely quickly, using things like this and using tools like Google My Business. Why are you laughing?
No, it was funny because I was having a conversation with another guest the other day, and we were talking about blogs. And me personally, I'm on YouTube a lot and podcasts. And so I was asking them, our people don't read blogs but then they were saying like, it's like having a website and then people find you and it's necessary. But I know a lot of 6-figure bloggers, but it brings me back to the days of 2008, 2009.
Yes, it feels like that. But I'm telling you, if you do the ask and answer approach, there's a great book by Marcus Sheridan called They Ask, You Answer. And it explains this in depth. But basically, if you go to answerthepublic.com and you type in dog walking, it'll give you like hundreds of different questions that people are Googling about dog walking and like what their cost per click is, how many searches per month there are. And if you find the ones that are most searchable and start answering those on your blog, which is essentially your website, you will just continue to rank higher and higher. And so when people click onto your blog, if you're linking all of those together, they'll just keep clicking as your website turns into Google. And then they'll eventually be like, this person knows what they're talking about. I'm going to hire them.
Interesting. And so because I know people have evolved from, again, I know a lot of successful bloggers, and the new way of doing things is like email newsletters like LinkedIn, Substack, Medium. Where do newsletters fit into this blogging format?
Yeah, I use Substack, but the thing is, so if you use Substack, then obviously that's a third party. So if they land on your Substack, they're not going to land on your website. So for me, that's okay. But if you have a business that you're trying to, again, move your way up on Google, that's not going to work as well for you. You should be blogging directly onto your website using like your WordPress or whatever your hosting your hosting services. But I like Substack. I think LinkedIn's okay, although I've heard they've scaled back on pushing those newsletters out in their algorithm and stuff. So it really depends on your business and your niche and what you're really trying to accomplish with your blog or your newsletter.
Yeah. What about something called, because I know people use Twitter a lot and they do microblogging, or even like now Twitter gives you the ability to post like long form content articles about should people be paying attention to these listicles and just microblogging?
So I guess it depends again on your niche. I'm not on Twitter. I don't use Twitter. I'm not a Twitter or X or whatever it is now. I'm not a user of that. So I'm not familiar with how that affects, but I know Instagram recently linked up with Google. So now that if you have a business, your post will show up on Google. So it changes the way that we need to think about our captioning. So we almost have to think of our captioning now in an SEO way. So let's say you had a post about a sandwich and you're just like, oh, look at this. Doesn't this look delicious? Or something just very generic on your post. That's not going to help you when that moves over to Google because it's not going to show to anyone. You need to make sure that says, hey, look at this delicious vegan turkey club BLT sandwich. Find it at our Southwest location, available at Good Morning Kitchen. So that when someone's searching for this vegan BLT club sandwich, yours in Las Vegas, yours comes up. So we really have to think about be more thoughtful with our captioning and how we're saying things on Instagram, because those are now going to be visible on Google search.
Yeah, really interesting. I think that's a really good point. A follow-up question I have for you is, because you mentioned Google search, and now, because again, we've had previous guests on the show, she was saying how people are going into ChatGPT, and a lot of businesses are trying to figure out how to best rank to show up on large language models. What are your thoughts, or is it still too early, like in terms of large language model, SEO, search, all of that?
Yeah, I haven't dove too deep into that yet. It has a lot to do with how it's trained. I don't particularly love using ChatGPT and those other competitors as a search engine. I think we should be using AI as like employees instead of search engines. Like we have a search engine, it's Google, it works fine. ChatGPT a lot of times will give you misinformation and things like that. So it needs to be fact checked. I do think that there will be a play into like how we rank in those AI search engines and how we make sure that we stay relevant. And even when we're on Google, it's sometimes giving you like a Gemini description, but those are still pulling from Google. So we need to just make sure that we're relevant on Google first and then dive into the AI. But again, I'm a huge proponent of using AI as an actual like employee and replacing tasks to save you dollars in your business first, instead of using it as just a general search engine.
Yeah, that's another important use case, tasks and assistants. And even now you can clone yourself, you can clone your voice, and
Scary.
yeah. Yeah. And I think the search is still very early, because I tried searching on chat, like some of the best restaurants in a new area, and it took me into this shady part of the area. It was just, so it's still not the best.
It's also user dependent. So because I've trained my AI on my businesses, if I ask it like, hey, what's the best vegan taco shop in the US? It's going to be like Tacotarian is the number one, and it's going to pull up 25 articles about Tacotarian. But I don't know if someone else asked it that, if it would give the same response, because AI is like a butt kisser, like if you will. It's trained that way. It's trained to be like, oh my gosh, that's such a great question. It doesn't really put a lot of, hey, that's not right. So I think that's one of the things that they have to work on, to put you in your place a little bit and tell you when you're wrong. So I don't know if that AI is just trained on me, or if someone else asked that exact question, if it's going to give it the exact answer. But in the use case of using it to save you money, I can say, hey, I'm going to hire you as my new PR executive. These are your job duties. These are your job responsibilities. This is what I need you to do. Your first task is going to be draft me a press release about X, Y, and Z. And then I'm going to say, ask me 5 questions that you need to draft this press release or about my business to help you better do your job. It's going to ask me the questions. I'm going to answer the questions, and then I'm going to stay in that thread. And that thread on ChatGPT or whatever AI you use is now my executive PR assistant for my business. And that saves me $7,000 a month right there, because that's how much PR is.
Yeah, it's amazing. I know we have around 4 or 5 minutes remaining, and you're a TEDx speaker and secrets behind the red dot. How important is it to be a TEDx speaker these days? Just because there's a proliferation of TEDx events. Anybody can spin it. Of course, they can spin up an event. Talk about how one should be approaching TEDx in terms of their marketing and influencer roles.
Sure. So for me, TEDx was just like a huge goal of mine. So it was like, I really want to do this. Was like, I love TED Talks. I think TEDx is amazing what they've done going into communities. Not anyone can just set up a TEDx. There's a very strict like guidelines that you have to follow, and you actually have to do multiple events to prove that you can do like a bigger event. So there's a lot of proof of concept that goes into each one that they finally do license. So this was the first actual TEDx Las Vegas. Like they had some other smaller like women's ones and things like that, but this was the first official TEDx Las Vegas. And it was a huge event. A lot of went into it. It's all volunteer based. Nobody makes money off of it. And there were some incredible people giving so much incredible information. And I think that gets lost when you go and see a keynote speaker or a large event or a niche down event. You're not getting to see people speak on all of these other different topics. There was a doctor that was talking about female health. I wouldn't have seen that at one of the events that I'm speaking on. So I think that there's still a really good place for TEDx, and it's a really exciting event. It's nerve-wracking. It's different because you can't just go out there and wing it. You're timed, you're memorized, it's rehearsed. I put 4.5 months of work into this 8-minute talk to perfect it, because it lives on forever on the internet. As in my video's not out yet, so I haven't even seen it. But yeah, I think it's still really relevant. I think it's highly relevant. I think they do a great job of curating really interesting speakers. So I loved it.
Really fascinating conversation. And if people wanted to follow up with you and check out your socials, connect with you, reach out to you, how could they do that?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn, so just Kristen-Corral. And I'm on Instagram, the Kristen Corral. Pretty easy.
Yeah, awesome. I really enjoyed talking with you, and thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much. Nice meeting you.
Mamá, papá, mi cuerpo crece a un ritmo alarmante y la ropa que me compren ahora me quedará muy pequeña muy pronto. Pero su billetera no tiene que sufrir por la moda con los precios bajos de la vuelta a clases de Amazon. Amazon, gasta menos, sonríe más.